Greetings and salutations, people. Today's episode of my cynical optimism is I am in Salt Lake City, Utah, and I am actually driving from the local Kmart here, picking up a few toiletries and things of that nature, during my brief stay here, because I just drove for 15 hours from my last destination, and I've ended up here in Salt Lake City, Utah. I'm actually visiting a friend here, and yeah, this was a stop. Hopefully this will be the last stop that I have before my final destination of California, Los Angeles, California to be exact. And in this episode of my cynical optimism, basically I wanted to talk about something that's a little bit more spiritual based. And when I say spiritual based, I'm coming from a place of I'm speaking more of a place of accepting life on life terms. Okay. And that can be a very vague statement, accepting life on life terms. And the way I see accepting life on life terms is a little bit different than how other people may see it, because I feel that shady things happen to good people for a reason. Okay? Whether you care to accept the fact of the matter or not, that's totally up to you. Let me go ahead and just pull over here, because I'm about to really get in with you guys and just really talk. Basically, it's come to my attention that more than a few people have questioned my motive of moving to Los Angeles, California. You know, and rightfully so, because a lot of my followers, a lot of my colleagues and friends, you know, have seemed to think that I'm being less than authentic than, you know, by saying the real reasoning for me moving to Los Angeles, California. So I'm gonna put it and nip it in the bud right here and there. Yes, I have a lucrative opportunity that has presented itself for me in Los Angeles, California. Yes, I am on my way to Los Angeles, California. Now, when it comes to the details and how this all came about, that may be something that you know, that I can honestly say at the beginning of this year of 2017, I can have even thought of like I didn't even imagine like I would be on my way back to Los Angeles, California. You know, I had no intent of going back to Los Angeles, California. You know, but at the same time, I knew my lease was up at my current apartment. And, you know, I've been having problems with some of my neighbors at my last residency in Brooklyn, New York. You know, problems that I care not to discuss, because those problems have been dealt with, and that is now water under the bridge. Okay? So let's leave it there. Now, let's talk about the current situation. The current situation is this. You can make all the plans, you can make all the preparations in the world for something to happen the way that you envision it to happen. But sometimes, and more times than not, life comes knocking at your door. Knock, knock, and you have to answer. you have to answer, and you have to decide how you're going to proceed with the outcome of what life presents to you when it gives you the cards that you've been dealt. And that's what I've had to deal with, all my life. Life has been knocking at my door when I expect a certain thing to happen. I'll give you a prime example. I did not think that, even at the beginning of this year of 2017, that we would be ending what I thought was a successful show of Tea Time with the Girls at the height of his success, and saying goodbye to all of our fans. But I had to come to grips that, hey, the views were down. People weren't as invested into the show as they were like maybe 5 years ago. And also the production team that was fronting us had other intentions, other things they felt which was a more God, how can I say this without really sounding shady? They felt that they had other investments to invest their time and their money into than Tea Time with the Girls. More lucrative investments, I should say. And sometimes you can't fight people on certain things when decisions are made. You have to roll with the punches, and you have to accept the cards that are dealt and be a bit grown up and say, okay, you know what? This is not what I was expecting, but you know what? I'm going to have to deal with it. And I've also realized that when I've had shady situations happen in my past, and in my current situations too, that I always ask myself, why me? Why me? Like, why is this happening to me? And 9 times out of 10, when I look deeper into the situation, and I'm a very spiritual person, even though some of you guys may think that with my shady past or my unspiritual paced past, that I will be the last person that will be talking about, there's a higher power and things of that nature. But I do have a very strong sense of spirituality. And when I look into things deeper, I can honestly say everything that has happened should have happened and did happen and happened the way it was supposed to happen. That's not me being upfront about the situation. That's not me accepting defeat. That's just me looking into it deeper and realizing that the only thing that we can control is our reaction to how things are going to present themselves in our lives. And that's the only thing that I want to really convey with this video here, because there's been a lot of unpredictable things that have been going on around me and in my close circle of friends that I've been having. I mean, stuff that the best screenwriters in Hollywood could not fathom. And I've had to make quick on your feet decisions on how I was going to react and how I would take this information, okay? Because we don't know how things are going to turn out sometimes. We don't really know of how, sometimes we don't even know if tomorrow is promised. That's why I tell people, if you want to take something and do something, do it now. Don't do it tomorrow, because tomorrow is not promised. And when I made the decision to say, you know what? There's nothing more left for me in New York to accomplish. There's nothing left in New York for me that's keeping me here. I definitely don't have a boyfriend or any intimate relation. Definitely don't have a boyfriend or intimate relationships. So when I made the decision to basically move back to Los Angeles from New York, it was a very quick, bold decision. And I knew I had a certain small window period to act on this. And most importantly, I knew there was nothing that was holding me back, because, for the most part, yes, I have debt, but I don't have any children. But when I look back at what I do have, I have, I have me, and I have ambition, and I have motivation. So there was really nothing that was stopping me from getting into my little Camaro here, packing it up, and saying, you know what, let's do this. Let's do this. You know, it's either now or tomorrow. I mean, no, it's either now or never. And that's what I want to really emphasize here. You know, sometimes you cannot predict the future. You cannot predict how things are going to work out, even though you may have the best intentions of it working out in a certain way. So what you're procrastinating, if it's some big project that you're procrastinating until tomorrow, next year, when this person comes through, sometimes take a leap of faith and do that shit now. I mean now, like yesterday now, you know, because tomorrow is not promised. Because I can definitely say, and I will say this again, in the beginning of this year, I had no intentions of moving. I had no intentions of moving to LA. I had no intentions of driving cross country in my Camaro, you know, with all of my animals in tow, prepared to restart my life in Los Angeles. But that's just how life is, and you have to really be prepared for the unexpected, because sometimes the unexpected can work out to be something lucrative for you and something that was better than your previous situation. You just have to be open for the opportunity that it could turn out to be something better and more perfect than your current